Hi everyone, Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new Nas album, Nasir. New album from New York, hip-hop, heavyweight, nasty Nas, Nostradamus, Nas. Joining in on Kanye West's short album streak this summer. This is the fourth project he's had his hands on. He had Pusha T's Daytona, his own project, Ye, also his collaborative record with Kid Cudi, and now this Nas album. Like every other release in the series thus far, we're talking 7 tracks, rounding out at about 20 minutes. Similar in aesthetic to the other releases in the series, the songs on this thing are pretty raw, pretty direct, with a somewhat artsy flair, which is typically brought through Kanye West's production. For an artist of Nas's pedigree, this of course is all good news, since we're pretty much guaranteed with such a short track list to have no frills on this album at all. We are not going to be subjected to a song like Summer on Smash from Nas's last album, Life is Good. Thankfully, the album kind of kicks off with a bang on the song Not for Radio featuring Puff Daddy. The track is marked with this epic, grand, monstrous instrumental with the cinematic background vocals and string samples, very fitting for lyrical references to diamonds and Egyptian gods in Nas's verses. In the second leg of the track, Nas's lyrics transition away from all of the references to God and power and extravagance, and he starts dropping all these really provocative, hyper-political proclamations. They do come off a bit disconnected and stiff. Nas's flow is somewhat low impact on this track. However, I do appreciate all the strong statements he's trying to make in such a short amount of time on this track about politics and racism and discrimination. Again, it's a really good and powerful start to the record, and the refrain of, "I think they scared of us," makes for a really incredible hook too. I pretty much have nothing but good things to say about the track Cop Shot the Kid following immediately after. Insane beat with all these relentless rhythms, a very odd groove, and these super persistent Slick Rick vocal samples, which were pulled from one of my favorite songs of his, Children's Story. Also, this really tripped out and delayed tire screeching effect that pops up in the song every once in a while. Nas's comments about police brutality all over the song are super direct and vivid and grim. Kanye echoes them really well on his feature on the track too. I mean, I love these two songs. So far up until this point, it seemed like, man, this is going to be another one in the can, another nail in the coffin in this Kanye West summer series. Because given how solid and consistent it is in these two songs, like, how could it not continue to deliver? And yet, Nas falls short. Unfortunately, like many of the projects Kanye has had his hands on so far this summer, this thing is not flames from start to finish. After Cop Shot the Kid, I wouldn't say the album takes a nosedive, but it kind of goes from hot to lukewarm, and then just continues at that pace. The repetitious and underwhelming white label sees Nas pulling on like a lot of veteran flexing and extravagance, but not really to any significant end. The song is also peppered with incredibly weak similes, one of which being, "You believe in your own lies can't be real, and the odds is that what you love could kill you, like a heart physician who dies from a heart attack." I'd say things get even weaker on the track Bonjour. I mean, it's not a bad instrumental. Tony Williams does really well on the hook too. But the opening verse on this cut about women pre-baiting in order to kind of like dampen down their sexual urges, but getting slayed anyway is like the most grossly self-serving verse I've heard Nas drop in like a decade. Things kind of pick up on the longest song on the record, Everything, which features a pretty epic beat, one of the most epic on the entire record. Also, Kanye singing on the hook is legitimately beautiful. As I have said in my reviews of Kids See Ghosts and also his record Ye, I do feel like Kanye has made the effort to improve his singing on this series of summer releases, and it shows here too. I also enjoy generally this song's sentiment about wanting to change the world for the better, also thinking for yourself and being an individual. However, I can't help but cringe at the series of bars that Nas drops on this track that kind of come off a little anti-vaccination. Granted, it doesn't get super conspiratorial, and the way that they kick off, it just kind of feels like Nas is rapping from the standpoint of a concerned parent who, despite the fact that studies show you should get your kids inoculated, it still kind of hurts to see your kids getting a shot and, oh, they're in pain, I don't want to see my kids upset, so on and so forth. But then there's a point at which he's rapping about, oh, we don't know what the side effects are going to be. No, we know what the side effects are going to be. long has been studied the act of inoculating people against deadly diseases. The side effect is that we don't all die of fucking smallpox. And believe me, this song is one of many examples on the rest of this record where it seems like Nas's social commentary could be a lot sharper. Adam and Eve does pick things up a little bit, at least when flow is concerned. Nas sounds a little more aggressive and hungrier than on many of the other tracks here. I like some of the religious imagery that pops up in the track, some of the themes of betrayal, but unfortunately it's not really a track that thematically or conceptually hits quite as hard as like the album's 2 intro cuts. And that's kind of the other thing with this album. It seems like for the rest of the project, Nas can't really dive into or deliver a song topic with the same vigor and excitement that he used to. Really kind of unpack an idea to the point where he's bringing a really interesting and a unique and a smart point of view to it. The song Simple Things is kind of pleasant to listen to. It's cute, it shows Nas in kind of an endearing light, but it finishes the album off in more of a whimper than a bang. I mean, it pretty much contributes to the overall scattered and unfinished vibe of this album. I guess you could say that Nasir is an admirable release. There are some highlights, there are some cool and interesting moments here and there, but I mean, I got to admit, I think a lot of the time the production is kind of carrying Nas and making the record interesting. Ultimately, this album falls very short of Kids See Ghosts or Daytona or Ye in that I'm not really hearing the artist in a new light. I'm not really hearing them push their craft to the edge or do it better than they've ever done it before. In actuality, Nasir is just kind of so-so. It's just mediocrity. It's just like barely getting to the bar of acceptability and then just kind of coasting from there. I'm feeling a strong 5 to a light 6 on this one. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Just leave a comment in the comments if you're feeling full of thoughts. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Nas forever.